Welcome to the all-new Sports Visions on Bounce TV and to our worldwide web viewers on www.sportsvisionsusa.com. Hello, everybody. I'm DJ Jones alongside my good friend and traveling partner, Dale Williams. How are you, sir?
What's up, player?
Man, you know I'm excited. I've been excited for the last couple of weeks. Teams, all the football teams, high school, college, and pro, they're in training camp, man.
They're in training camp, and I know their legs are wiggling and wobbling, and hopefully they'll get together and have adapted to this hot weather.
Let me ask you something. Can you imagine, as hot as it is, we had on 20 pounds of equipment out there. I mean, we walk out there with a suit on now, and we're wringing wet.
Oh, man, I want to drive to the mailbox. So, it's hot, and, like I said, it's really hot outside. And really, I think one of the good things, again, that we talked about from high school to the pros, they're getting a lot of work in early morning.
All right. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to introduce you to some folks that are going to give you some good information, some behind-the-scene kind of folks. Of course, we were up at SEC Media Days a couple of weeks back, and we're going to bring you AJC's Georgia Bulldog beat writer, Chip Towers. He's going to come on and talk about the Bulldogs. Also, Football Writers Association past president Ron Higgins. Now, you thought that the football sports writers were strong, but you're going to really find out how strong and how resourceful they are. Ron's going to give you all of that information. And Columbus native and former WTVM employees, I say employee because he did everything from ran the cameras to running the teleprompter. But now he's a sports director, anchor in Jackson, Mississippi. Chris Hutchinson on deck. All that and more coming up next on Sports Visions.
I thought you said this guy was the best.
Oh, he's a horrible stylist.
What? He's the best at paying claims fast.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Paid mine in just one day.
One day?
Yeah.
Wow.
In just one day, we approve and pay. One day pay, only from Aflac.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, come see us at Express Motors, 1210 14th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama. Or give us a call, 334-384-9101, with hundreds of vehicles to choose from. In-house financing, the right vehicle at the right price for you. We don't want all your business, just yours. Come see us, 1210 14th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama, or go online, www.expressmotorspc.com. Hello, football fans. Coming up August 31st, our college football picks of the week. And that's right, it's brought to you by our good friends from Mercedes-Benz of Columbus.
Each week during the 2015 college football season, Sports Vision will pick 7 of the top college games around the SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, and the Pac-12. Viewers in the Chattahoochee Valley will stop by Mercedes-Benz of Columbus to fill out their pick forms and receive a free test drive voucher. The form must be turned in before 12 o'clock on game day. The customer with the most winning picks will win a complimentary prize brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Columbus. The winner automatically qualifies for the grand prize, round-trip ticket for 2 to the SEC Championship game in Atlanta, Georgia. So stop by Mercedes-Benz of Columbus to fill out your form.
Can't stand the heat? Get off the test track. Get the Mercedes-Benz you've been burning for at the summer event going on now at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Hurry before this opportunity cools off.
Crown Royal Black. Bold as bourbon, smooth as Crown.
And welcome back to Sports Visions. I'm joined by Chip Towers of the Journal and Constitution, and he's the beat writer for the University of Georgia, and you've been there for a few years rather.
Yeah, a few years. That's a nice way to put it, Dan.
All right.
Thank you.
One simple question. What does the University of Georgia have to do to have a special year this year?
It seems to me like Georgia is just always knocking on the door. So I would say more than anything else, Georgia needs to have a little good luck. I think they've been a very unlucky team the past few years. They've certainly, had some tough calls, made some mistakes along the way. But I really feel like between the schedule, the athletes they have, the offense, the defense, I think all the ingredients are there. They just have to take advantage of the opportunities when they come to them, and they haven't been able to do that lately.
Now, how are we going to handle the quarterback situation?
Well, certainly that's going to be the talk, really probably into the year. I'm not sure this thing will be resolved even by the first game. I mean, I think this may carry on into the season. And, right now, my personal opinion, this is what I think. This is not what Georgia or Mark Richt is saying here in Birmingham or anything. But, I think at the end of the day, Bryce Ramsey's still your guy. I think he got the playing time he did last year for a reason. He is more experienced than the other guys in this system. And but I think there's a lot of real qualities that Fatone Baltas, I think he's making it tough on him. And Grayson Lambert, don't count him out. I mean, this guy, he's a huge human being. He's a true blue 6'5", 240 pounds, and he's, as Mark Richt pointed out today, he's been knocked on his butt a couple of times and gotten up and brushed off. And there's a lot to be said of that because you don't know how guys are going to react to that the first time.
So you wouldn't rule out a 2-quarterback system. Do you think that's?
I think this is as close as I've seen Coach Richt be since David Green and DJ Shockley did what they did in the early 2000s, and it's just because I don't see any guy being head and shoulders above the others. Now, in the case of DJ and David, you just had two of them that were so good you had to make sure they both got on the field. In this case, I don't think anybody has distanced themselves to the point where you can say, yeah, that's our guy. Now, they'll look for that, and they'll hope to see that in the preseason, but based on where I'm sitting right now, I don't see that happening.
All right, on the offensive side of the ball, since we're talking about quarterbacks, talk to me about some of the explosiveness that Georgia does have on offense.
Well, it all starts in the backfield. I think Georgia has a chance to be a tremendous. That's the good thing about the quarterback situation. I don't care who it is. You're not going to be asking anybody to throw the ball 40 or 50 times a game. You shouldn't be in that situation at all. And it's not just Nick Chubb. It's Sony Michel. It's Keith Marshall being back. I mean, Brendan Douglas and A.J. Turman both had great springs. They got most of the carries. So you're going to have to take advantage of those guys. But it's not just that. 4 or 5 starters back on the offensive line. Moving Cablano to center and Isaiah Wynn to guard they're solid there. Their tight ends are good. I think wide receiver play is kind of the biggest question mark. I mean, I love Malcolm Mitchell. What's not to love about Malcolm Mitchell? Right. But he's had a hard time staying on the field during his career. And when you're counting on a guy, to be there all year round, that's a big deal. And there's not a lot of depth after that. But otherwise, I see this being just as explosive as Georgia's offense has been the past few years.
We talk about defense and, Jeremy Pruitt, he's the defense coordinator, and I think they tried to play into, buy into his whole system. What do you look forward to seeing about their defense this year?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm amazed what Jeremy Pruitt was able to do last year with that defense because, I know just from talking to him, personally after he got there and kind of early in the season, kind of off the record stuff, he was concerned about the personnel that they had. And what he was able to do with that personnel was pretty impressive. When you look at the strides that Georgia made as a defense last year, now he's got a lot more parts. Now that secondary is still a little bit of question, and they may be a year away from having the type of defensive line they need. And as long as I've covered this league, it really starts with those guys up front. But there is a lot of talent. They're going to be able to put pressure on the passer, which is going to help you on the back end. And I don't see them certainly falling back much from where they were last year. And last year they were among the best teams in the SEC.
All right. Let me get your picks. Who's going to play in the SEC championship?
Well, I do think, it was interesting to see the picks overall. We don't participate in that. Our AJC policies don't but I do believe that Georgia is the best team in the East when it comes down to it. I'm not buying completely in. I think Tennessee's a year away. Missouri, I expect them to be in the hunt because they have been every year they've been in the league. And that other side, man, the West is crazy. For one year at least, Alabama seems to have come back to the pack. I think that's why you saw Auburn pick to win this thing. But I'm not the Auburn guy. I know this. I know where you guys are. Right. But I saw too many flaws in Auburn last year to see that completely smoothed away in a year's time by the additions of subtractions. I just don't see that happening. So, I like Bama on that side and maybe A&M.
Okay. Now, last question. I know it's early. Give me your Final Four.
Final Four for the college football?
football.
Oh, wow. You know, geez, I hadn't even looked much beyond the end of my nose here other than that. But let's have some fun with it. Let's throw Georgia in there, right? Okay. We'll play a little.
I got you.
We'll play some favorites. So we'll throw Georgia in there from the SEC. We'll throw Ohio State in there because why not? I mean, heck, Urban Meyer's still there, right? And shoot, I don't know, a couple from out west maybe. Who's good out there? Do you know who's good out
TCU.
there right now? Let's throw TCU in there. That'd be great.
Yes, and that's right. Thanks again, Chip Towers, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, beat writer for Georgia. Hey, we'll be right back. This is Sports Visions.
Sports Vision is sponsored by Aflac, Crown Royal, Express Motors, Diverse Powers.
Hi, I'm Dale Williams with Sports Visions. And if you want to watch Sports Visions 24/7 or even earlier before the show, all you have to do is log on to My Sports Vision USA. Just log on YouTube, My Sports Visions USA.
4 of the top 5 Marriott golf courses are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail in Alabama. Ross Bridge, Grand National, Capitol Hill, and the Grand Hotel were named their favorite golf resorts by guests of Marriott and Renaissance Hotels of North America. 4 out of 5 is a pretty good average. Take it from those who've been there and book a trip to the trail. Call 800-949-4444 or visit rtjgolf.com.
Stop by these locations to pick up your free copy of Sports Visions magazine. Hilton Garden Inn, Chester's Barbecue, and Express Motors.
Welcome back to Sports Vision. The pride and joy of Columbus, Georgia joins us now. Chris Hutchinson, how are you?
I'm doing great. My first SEC Media Day, surprisingly. So all the journey I've been, from Columbus, all points in between my first SEC Media Day, so I'm soaking it all in.
Well, Chris, for the folks in Chattahoochee Valley, East Alabama, West Central Georgia, who watched you grow up, and of course you're doing wonderful things, but why don't you just catch us up, because you have had quite a few stops between your start in Columbus and what you're doing right now.
It's been a bizarre and awesome journey, to say the least. Went to Carver High for a couple years, ended up graduating high school up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, then came back home. I'm a proud Columbus State Cougar. Not many of us in the TV business, so I'm proud to be one of the few. Got a job there working at WTV, and while I was at CSU, that was back in 2003, did production, worked all the way up, got a chance to be the sports reporter in 2008, working under the man, the myth, the legend, Dave Platt. I had a chance to work under him. Then got my opportunity, moved to Jonesboro, Arkansas in 2009. And I guess timing's a beautiful thing. I was there during the rise of the Arkansas State football program, so I had a chance to cover Hugh Freeze the 2 years he was there, Gus Malzahn the year he was there before he went to Auburn, and a little bit of Brian Harsin. Then in the middle of last summer, got a call with an opportunity to go to Jackson, Mississippi. I wanted a chance to go to the SEC, have a chance to cover more stories in that conference, SWAC 2 and things like that. And let's just say getting plopped down in Jackson in the middle of football season has easily been the fastest and craziest 9 months of my life.
Well, Chris, you're certainly living the dream of most journalism students, of course, graduating from college and then running the gamut, if you will. And again, the gamut is, of course, you're on a plane just like this going up. Ultimately, where do you see yourself?
That's the fun part about this. I'm so blessed right now where I am. I'm kind of just going along for the ride. A lot of people have this dream. I have a dream to maybe SEC Network. That's where I'm looking at, because I grew up in the heart of SEC country. I grew up watching the JP game, Jefferson Pidle, 12:30 kickoff, watching that all the time. And to have a chance to cover that conference extensively will be a dream. I'm kind of already living that dream now in Jackson, covering Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Let's say I was pretty fortunate last year to move to Mississippi right when the tide really started turning for the Rebels and Bulldogs, and just seeing a state kind of just change and kind of grow with all the expectations, especially the month of October and November, was pretty crazy, to say the least.
When I started in this business some 15, 16 years ago, I worked at WRBL TV3 in Columbus, Georgia, and you had to shoot as a sports director. slash anchor. You had to shoot your own footage. You had to go out and, of course, do all your interviews. You had to write your own script. You had to go on to show as the talent. Has anything changed with you?
Not really. That's honestly my favorite part of the job. Everybody asks, they're like, do you like being on the air the most? I'm like, no, I like going to games for free. I've told people that a long time ago, and they still don't seem to believe me, but it's the honest to goodness truth. But now I love that creative control. It's like I get to shoot everything. So you're seeing my video, in some cases, my interviews, my questions, and everything like that. I just love that aspect of it. It's not just a pretty face. I'm certainly not the prettiest of faces, but maybe I am. I don't know. But not certainly the pretty face aspect, but getting the chance to shoot the video, go to games. I have more joy being on the sidelines on a Saturday afternoon in the fall, being at an SEC venue or SWAC venue or wherever the case may be. I get more joy out of doing that sometimes than going on air. So I wouldn't have it any other way.
Lastly, Chris, I want to look into that camera as we do here on this show when we have people like yourself. Talk to those young people that are watching, because there's some aspiring journalism students out there, broadcast majors, and give them some words of encouragement.
The best thing to say, learn and soak up as much info as you can. My journey in the news business, I started out in production. So I had to run studio camera. I do audio, do graphics, things like that. And then even before I even had a chance to go on air, I wanted to learn how to shoot. So getting a chance to really, master that art of working with a camera, big camera, small camera, didn't really matter. And then just soak up and work as much as you possibly can. There are so many days I worked in Columbus, even though I was doing things on the production side, I wouldn't say break in the sports office, but I would try to go in the sports office every single day I could, even for free. I didn't really care. I just wanted that experience. Experience in this business is invaluable, to say the least.
All right, Chris, we're going to be following you, man. I tell you what, we're so proud of you. And once again, keep going, keep doing your thing, man.
I certainly will. It's always good to represent Columbus, Georgia, put it on the map. Every time somebody asks me where I'm from, I always say Columbus, Georgia. I'm a proud Columbus State Cougar, and it's good to kind of be able to represent my alma mater and my hometown in the media business. I wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
Sports Vision is sponsored by Aflac, Crown Royal, Express Motors, Diverse Powers, Hilton Garden Inn, Chick-fil-A, Columbus Tech, Chester's Barbecue, ENS.
Hi, I'm Philip Dabbit with ENS Men's Clothing Warehouse. We'd like to say thank you, Columbus and the Bi-City area, for 20 great years on Macon Road in the heart of Columbus. We're inviting you out to our 20th anniversary sale with bigger savings and deals than ever before.
To help show our appreciation, ENS is offering complete suit and tux packages only $99. Jackets, pants, shirts, and ties, a $199 value for just $99. Find us on Facebook for details on how to win a suit or tux package. Come celebrate our 20th anniversary. ENS, where you get more for a whole lot less.
The Mercedes-Benz summer event is here. Now get the unmistakable thrill and the incredible rush of the Mercedes-Benz you've always wanted. But you better get here fast.
Hey, Daddy's here.
Here you go, honey.
Thank you.
Because a good thing like this won't last forever. See your authorized dealer for an incredible offer on the exhilarating C300 Sports Sedan. But hurry, offers end soon.
Departure, arrival, search, post, chat, check in. New foods, new fun, new favorites. All right, new clients. Don't stop there. Explore, discover, connect, grow, celebrate, work, live, play. At Hilton Garden Inn, we know you'll love our cook-to-order breakfast, first-rate amenities, and award-winning service. So count on us to give you all the ways to make the most of every stay. Hilton Garden Inn. It's better at the garden.
Welcome back to Sports Visions. Joining me right now is the past president of the Football Writers Association, Mr. Ron Higgins. How are you?
I'm great. We're at the end of this thing, so 14 coaches, a bunch of players. It's almost all over, but it kind of gets you psyched for football. Now it's tough to have to wait a few weeks to get into preseason practice.
Absolutely. I want to talk to you a little bit about the organization that you were the past president of, and of course you are a member of, and soon too Sports Vision will be a member of, because you gave some information pertaining to the sports writers, that this particular organization that you are part of, the good and the bad as far as what you do for the sports writers.
Yeah, we kind of, as the world of media has changed. The relationships have been broken down between coaches and media. They've become less trustful because of the world of tweets and everything. Everything's immediate. And so a lot of times they've cut off a lot of access to us. And we're trying to keep as much access open as possible and just to and for help us do our jobs and without infringing on them doing their jobs. And so we've been around since 1941. We have more than 1,000 members. We're well respected among all the organizations that run college football. So then when we come to them with a concern, they really listen to us. And so it helps all the media do their jobs a little easier. So that's kind of one of the charge we have.
That's pretty awesome. And when you talk about media today, and again, when I started, social media was nowhere near what it is today. How do you think that's affected? Has it made sports writers more effective, or has it taken a little of the luster away?
Well, you have to learn how to multitask for sure. I mean, when you cover a game and you have to tweet the whole game and write the game at the same time and try to observe everything, yeah, it makes it a lot tougher. But it's just part of the world we live in today. People want the information; they want it right now, and that's just the way it is. And you learn to adapt, or you're not in the business anymore. That's the way it works. And just understand, people want it now. You're taught to engage readers more than ever. They want to be a part of it, and I mean, that's what we're here for, the readers.
Ron, for the young sports writers, or young aspiring sports writers, knowing what you know now, of course, what would be words of encouragement or words of inspiration as far as preparing and getting these young writers off and on a good start?
First of all, read as much as possible. Read, and read something you want to read. I mean, that doesn't mean you have to read the classics. If you like to read sports books, read sports books. If you like to read about music, read music. Just read, and that way you'll see how people write, and then you kind of learn, and then you may look at certain sports writers you like to read, and then you look at their styles, and then soon later you kind of take a little bit of everybody and you have your own style. But the one thing you can't sacrifice is ethics and doing it the right way. And to me, that the ethics are the most important, because once you get the respect of the people that you're writing about, it's much easier for them to respect you. And I mean, this sounds simple, but a lot of people don't do it, and a lot of my sports writer friends don't do it. You know, I'm probably one of the few guys here today who are, besides you, looking really sharp among sports writers who dress in a coat and a tie. And that's because how can you expect to be respected by the people you cover if you show up looking like you're ready to go to the beach? And respect yourself, and people respect what you do.
Excellent point, folks, and I say this all the time. You look good, you feel good, you play good. Learned that a long time ago from a coach, and of course, a well-respected, again, a legendary sports writer. Same thing same philosophy that he believes in. Let's talk a little bit about coaches today. The access, as far as should they cool down after a win. Do you think that basically the time that or the policies that are in place now helps or hurts what we do?
I think, most of them have a 10-minute cooling off period, which for coaches, they take a little bit longer, which is fine. The only problem I have sometimes is that they don't make offensive and defensive coordinators available after a game, and they send an 18 or 19-year-old kid out there, a quarterback, to answer questions after losing a game, and he's having to answer the questions, and the coordinator's nowhere in sight, and that guy's getting paid $800,000, $1 million a year. He should be out there answering questions like the young kid, and sometimes I find that highly unfair. And I feel a lot of times for the kid while you're talking to him, like, man, he's 19 years old and he's having to answer these questions from, why'd you do this and why'd you do that? And a lot of times I'm thinking, well, the guy who called the play should be, out there talking to people.
Well, Ron, we certainly enjoyed this wealth of information, and for the folks out there that want to get a hold of you, and who tell them what qualifications they need and where they can join this organization.
Okay, well, if you're a credentialed media, and we will check you out, you can go to fwaa.com and apply for the thing there, and when we also, we like young sports writers. We like as many as we can in the organization. You can read me on NOLA.com. You can find me on Twitter at Ron Higgs. So that's where you can find me.
We certainly appreciate you, and of course, looking forward to seeing you during the course of this year.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Stop by these locations to pick up your free copy of Sports Visions magazine. Hilton Garden Inn, Chester's Barbecue, and Express Motors.
But you said this guy was the best.
Oh, he's a horrible stylist.
He's the best at paying claims fast.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Paid mine in just 1 day.
1 day?
Yeah.
Wow.
In just 1 day, we approve and pay. 1 day pay, only from Aflac.
Scott Sawyer with Diverse Power. Diverse Power wants our customers to enjoy all the benefits that reliable, consistent electric service provides. Our BPI certified technicians offer duct blaster testing of your HVAC ductwork to locate leaks. We also offer a full blower door examination that will qualify homeowners and home builders to meet the new Energy Code building standards. At Diverse Power, we offer innovation through vision, quality through service.
Crown Royal Black. Bold as bourbon, smooth as Crown.
And welcome back to today's final segment of Sports Visions. Man, I tell you, it ages us to see Chris doing so well, and you knew he was going to be special when he was here.
He was going to be special. DJ did a great job for Channel 9 doing the sports and doing his internship. He learned everything he knew at Channel 9, and to see this guy develop into one of the top sports guys in the whole country. He's got a lot of potential, DJ.
Absolutely. And man, what can we say about Chip Towers? We thought we knew a lot about the Georgia Bulldogs, but this guy, it's his job. He gets paid to follow and go behind the scenes with the Georgia Bulldogs.
That's what Chip Towers do. He's the beat writer, been a beat writer for a long time. He knows where all the bodies are, DJ, and he knows a lot of stuff that never gets into print. So that was a very good, informative interview and talking to Chip.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Rod Higgins, of course, man, he gave us some wonderful information. And obviously, we are going to become members of the association,
That's right.
Football Writers Associations, even though we have a publication, a magazine publication, but the resources and the benefits of having an association behind you when you have situations, and will have situations if you're in this business, because certain sports information directors, they're human, and for whatever reason, they might have a bad day, and again, they might not want to grant you access or get you your credentials when your credentials are due.
Really, DJ, it was great to listen to Ron, and really he gave us a lot of information, a wealth of information, and really it's almost like being in a union, so to speak, the Writers Association. So that's going to help us, and really it's nothing like networking from the SEC Media Day.
You're absolutely right. Well, that's going to do it for all the time we have for today's show. For Dale Williams, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball. Have a great week.
Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you.